Hi there, my name is Rachel Blinoff-Mudd, and I am a curriculum and instruction manager here at iCEV. I oversee the content development for our STEM and health science pathways. As a former CTE health science teacher, I'm really excited to show you some of the new updates that we've come up with, and I think they're going to be useful for you to use in your classroom. Hopefully you can see it on my screen. I'm just going to do a quick review of what we have to offer here on health science that's new. So for Texas Proc24, we have added medical microbiology, pathophysiology, and medical billing and coding as the new courses that we're featuring. We also have completely updated some existing courses, which are health science theory, medical terminology, and anatomy and physiology. We previously had those. We have since gone in, touched every single lesson to make sure they are engaging and interesting for our students. We also have updated our Principles of Health Science course, and we have created a new playlist specific to meet the Nietzsche standards. So if your school is teaching to those Nietzsche standards, we've identified lessons from across our entire health science offering, brought those lessons together to fulfill all the Nietzsche standards, and you can find those in the Nietzsche playlist. Going back to my courses, let me just show you a couple fun new things we have. So in medical microbiology, this course is a mix of PowerPoints, videos, animated videos, video demonstrations from professionals in the field. So students really get a good grasp on microbiology concepts. We have these science-based lessons that really focus on what is science, how do you do science, and how does it apply to medical microbiology. That's how we recommend you start the course before diving into that really nitty-gritty content. I'll show you a quick example of what we have to offer here. So this is a demonstration video where a college microbiology professor walks students through how to do gram staining. This is the same professional you'll see in a lot of the demonstration videos. The students really see what it looks like before they're actually doing the lab. And then when they get to the lab, we actually walk them through step by step what needs to be done, what materials they need, what procedure they should follow, their observations, their summaries, all of that. Really nice. While I'm on this activity, something new that's new to our site is we're updating our lessons to be in this HTML format, which means when it's opened, whether your student opens it or you opens it, you can use this Google Translate feature to automatically change the language to whatever your student might be more comfortable with. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in Chinese. You can now print this and have a Chinese version available for your students. So that is a really cool feature that we have updated. Another cool thing in medical microbiology is not every lesson, a lot of the lessons have these patient challenge activities where a student follows the same patient through their diagnosis of an infectious disease. So they're going from the very beginning and looking at like what factors might have contributed to him contracting this illness, all the way to the end where they're figuring out what pathogen is responsible, interpreting test results and explaining them to the patient in language they would understand. So in this example, they're interpreting his gram staining results and attempting to see, using a dichotomous chain, what kind of bacteria this might possibly be. In pathophysiology, I wanted to share a couple different things that are new to the health science site. So most of our health science courses have this new capstone feature. So I'm going to pop this pathophysiology one open for you to see. The capstones are lessons we have designed. There's no direct content delivery. We're taking everything they've learned through the scope of the course and putting it into one like final project. Think of it as a big project-based learning end of the year activity, where you don't have to stand in front of the class and deliver content. Instead, you're guiding students through this huge project. We have explicitly made each project focused, but it still has the ability for student choice in it. So for example, in pathophysiology, students are analyzing data from their health data from their community to identify a problem, research the disease process, and suggest a solution. In anatomy and physiology, they're asking a question about their body. Why is my scab dark brown? Why do my eyes water when I cut an onion? They can pick any question they're interested in, and then we guide them through how do we find the answers to that question and apply the learning we have so far. So every capstone lesson is going to look similar to this with a resource library. So there's a collection of videos, PowerPoints based on what the students need to be able to do. in their capstone. So in this capstone specifically, they need to be able to do quality research. So if they're not comfortable with like researching strategies, or they're not sure what to do, we direct them to go, hey, check out this PowerPoint, see if there's any information here you could use to make your researching better. So that's essentially what the resource library is. It's just a collection of information for the students to fall back on as they progress through their capstone projects. The capstone projects this is the main document you'll have the students use. It's a huge document. Again, it walks them through every single step. So you'll see here, let's see, we'll start here. They're starting to identify resources, identify statistics based for diseases and disorders. And then they'll get to these points where it's telling them to go ahead and stop and complete an activity.
Icon of a hand.
So what those activities are these are really opportunities for teachers to do check-ins and make sure that students are progressing the right direction through their project, or they're on pace. So this is what they're doing. Essentially, all it's asking them to do is summarize what they did in the project notebook, and then meet with their teachers and fill them in on what their updates are. The other thing that we provide in the capstone project are these checklists. So it's really easy for students to follow along with all the different pieces and moving parts, and easy for you to track where you're at. This specific capstone and the anatomy and physiology one are designated to be 4 weeks of class time, really that end of the year project where students are sometimes in and out of the classroom. This is a good thing for them to be doing. You could tailor this to be however long you wanted. You could add pieces and make it longer. You could take pieces out that aren't as crucial and make it shorter. So this is a cool element that we've added to a lot of health science courses. Looking at some other courses in anatomy and physiology, we have totally rebuffed all the material. We've broken down every single system into an anatomy lesson, a physiology lesson, and a diseases and disorders lesson. The physiology lessons are all videos. We thought it was really important for students to be able to visualize the physiological processes that we're talking about. So we really went ahead and doing all these animations so students could see the physiological process for themselves. The other fun thing that we have is in all the diseases and disorders lessons. So these lessons, human diseases and disorder based on the body system, students get to apply their knowledge in real world settings through diagnosing different diseases and disorders for case studies. This course also has a capstone lesson. I think I mentioned before, that's where they just ask a question about their body. Another course that we did a lot of touching up on is medical terminology. We've broken down into morphemes based on body systems. So if you open a specific body system, students will learn the suffixes, prefixes, and root words associated with that body system. And then every single one of these will have an activity where they work on building and breaking down terms and interpreting terms based on their new knowledge. While we're here, I just wanted to touch on some really great pedagogical things we offer in our lesson plans. If I was a teacher, this would be like my lifeline. And this is what I think really stands out about us is we outline everything you should be doing content delivery wise, so you can really focus on classroom management. So you can see here, we walk through step by step what you need to do in each class. This is based on 50-minute classes, so it might need a little bit of tweaking if you're not in that design at your school, but we have bell ringers for every class, exit tickets for every class to really help you get the class flow going from bell to bell. We also identify exactly what you should do in each class. And at the end of these lesson plans, we've just outlined briefly what each activity or project is. And we have built in suggestions for accommodations, modifications, and extensions for students. So the accommodations and modifications are really put there to support students with 504 IEP plans, and the extensions are there for advanced students who might be ready to move on to something, but the rest of the class isn't. Or if your class is really hyper-focused and into a certain topic, you can continue learning about it by performing the suggestion extension activity. The last thing I think I wanted to touch on is that our Principles of Health Science is not a Proc24 course, but we have gone in and just updated all of the lessons so they're more engaging and more relevant for students. One of my favorites is this Health Science Professionalism series, where we deliver content through a PowerPoint. So in this PowerPoint, it talks about like communication practices within health science. But then these are all hybrid lessons, meaning we also provide these interviews with two individuals. One is a cancer researcher and one is a nurse practitioner, and they kind of share their experience with the content we presented. So in this case, they're talking about how communication happens in their specific workplace. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy our new health science curriculum.